Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. That's where Dignity Memorial can help. Our prepaid funeral plans make sure that your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. At Dignity Memorial, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or Gretchen Serio at 225-315-6187 or online at dignitymemorial.com. Dignity Memorial, the peace of mind you and your family deserve.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Start the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. As usual, I am hoping all is well with you and yours and your little slice of South Louisiana heaven. Since the last opportunity, we had to spend some time with you and yours earlier in the week. We start today's show, as we typically do, with Louisiana news. And the Louisiana legislature taking action on dealing with the fentanyl crisis in America and obviously here in Louisiana. A bill by Representative John Stefanski, hope I'm pronouncing it right, Stefanski, made it to the House floor and now goes on to the Louisiana State Senate that would impose a mandatory life sentence for people caught with more than 28 grams of fentanyl. For those of you that are challenged in that regard, that's roughly an ounce of fentanyl. As it stands right now, currently, individuals convicted of possession with intent to distribute fentanyl face a 5-year minimum sentence and a 40-year maximum sentence, in addition to fines of up to $50,000. That would now apply only to individuals caught with less than 28 grams of fentanyl. 28 grams or more, if this bill passes, would be a mandatory life in prison sentence. I have not had the opportunity to verify this one way or the other, but Representative Stefanski, in debate on the House floor, said the following, quote, "If you are 18 to 45, the number one reason you're going to die is fentanyl. Say what you will, use whatever label you want on the fentanyl situation here in Louisiana and America for that matter. That's a crisis, folks. Any way you look at it, any way you cut it, it's a crisis. Last year, over 107,000 of our fellow Americans died from a fentanyl-related opioid overdose. Tip of the hat to the Louisiana legislature for grabbing this bull by the horns and upping the penalties substantially. We're going to keep an eye on this as it all unfolds, and we, of course, will pass that information along to you and yours as it continues to work its way through the legislative process. Speaking of fentanyl, East Baton Rouge law enforcement agencies, along with agencies from other parishes, arresting a number of people this week, including the, quote, King of Zion City, on a number of drug and weapons charges. Multiple arrest warrants served after a 4-month investigation into drug distribution in that part of Baton Rouge. It is telling when you look at the list of charges what this means for the community that it impacts. For example, seized narcotics included 1.75, 1 3/4 ounces of fentanyl. That is approximately 490 lethal doses. 11 grams of crack, 1 ounce of powdered cocaine, 1/4 pound of methamphetamine, 4 grams of heroin, 109 dosage units of oxycodone, 1 gram of MDMA, 29 Suboxone strips, a 1/2 pound of marijuana, 3.4 pounds of synthetic marijuana. In addition, the firearms seized included a Bushmaster 5.56 AR-style rifle, by the way, listed as stolen from an LSP unit back in 2017. That's Louisiana State Police. A Deltone 5.56 AR-style short barrel rifle, a Serbia AK-47 style pistol, Glock 10 millimeter handgun, a Springfield 45 caliber handgun reported stolen through the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Department, a High Point 380 handgun, a Glock 45 caliber handgun, Palmetto 5.56 AR style pistol, Taurus 38 special revolver reported stolen through the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, a Taurus 9 millimeter, Ruger 9 millimeter, and other handguns. It is a scourge, my friends, that is ravaging communities all across America. And as you might imagine, the state of Louisiana is no different in that regard. Hopefully, law enforcement will keep up their ramped up efforts in this regard. Now, that obviously is not the only problem plaguing our city and our state. I took some heat for a statement I made a couple years ago. And to this day, I stand by it wholeheartedly. You may remember me saying that the citizenry of East Baton Rouge Parish dropped the ball. Approximately 3-4 years ago, we had the opportunity to pass a tax for a new jail, and we voted it down. I said at the time it was a huge mistake because, quite frankly, while I believe in an individual's right to rehabilitation, speaking quite frankly, until that rehabilitation occurs, there are some folks that need to be in jail. I said it then, I say it now, and I stand by it wholeheartedly. For example, this week, a 19-year-old out on bond for an armed robbery is back in jail after going on a crime spree involving, among other things, carjacking an LSU student. 19-year-old Clarence Shavers allegedly pinned his victim against her car, exposed his genitalia, and the victim told police that this 19-year-old said he would not take her car if she gave him oral sex. She was able to break free and get away while Shavers, the 19-year-old, drove off in her car. Meanwhile, newly obtained arrest documents revealed that Shavers victimized someone else less than an hour later, driving the victim's stolen car to a Walgreens on Airline Highway, where he allegedly followed another woman to her vehicle. He then reached in through the passenger door, grabbed her purse off the seat before fleeing in the stolen car. He was arrested days later after he forcibly stole another victim's car, her purse from a gas station on Silverleaf Drive. Again, I am all for individuals taking advantage of the opportunity to rehabilitate themselves. But in the interim, until that happens, we need a place to keep these folks. And, did I mention that when he attacked this woman on LSU's campus, he was already out on bail for armed robbery? Back in the 70s, Richard Pryor did a comedic skit. He went as a public service into a prison to perform his comedy routine, looking to give the inmates some change in their everyday mundane routine. And after his comedy skit, he sat around and talked with the prisoners in this prison. And he said after that, he came away thinking one thing, and I quote, "Thank God we have jails and prisons." The fact of the matter is, and some of y'all may not like it, but it is what it is, there are some folks out there that have shown in no uncertain terms that they are not either capable or willing to live by the rules of a civilized society. That is where the rest of us have to make darn sure that we have a place for these folks when they decide to show us that they are not willing to live by the laws of the land. At the end of the day, you do realize who will suffer if we don't, right? Here's a hint. Here's a hint. Just an observation. First break of today's show. When we come back, I want to talk about students in schools across America and how they were affected by the pandemic, but even more so, what it bodes for our future. That's next, when we continue the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Man, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun, too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, in recent memory, we have bemoaned the state of public education in America. If you have been paying attention at all, you have to be disheartened about what is happening in our schools. I'm not just talking about the push to indoctrinate our young people, not just talking about the sexual deviancy that educators are trying to push down our kids' throats with transgenderism and the whole 9 yards, but just the basics of what school is supposed to be about. Typically, at least up until recent memory, we would gauge how effective schools were by how much kids learn. I mean, if you're a salesperson for a living, you are gauged by how much product you sell. If you are a professional athlete, you are gauged by your contributions to your team winning. It's a cause and effect sort of thing. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic not only threw a monkey wrench into the machinery, it also revealed in no uncertain terms the failings in our public school system all across this country. The switch to remote learning, as cumbersome as it was for many households, was also a very eye-opening experience for parents. Many parents, forced to stay at home by COVID mandates, got a first-hand look at what their children were, or as the case was in many instances, were not learning. According to a report released this week from the United States Department of Education, only 13% of 8th grade students met the proficiency level for history, United States history, and civics. You know what that means, right? Only 13% of the 8th graders surveyed actually had a working knowledge of our country's history, and only had a working knowledge of the rights and the responsibilities of Americans. Now, it would be real easy to blame any number of things in this sordid equation. Many people might be tempted to say, well, you got to understand they're teaching so much other stuff in school these days that, it maybe it's just too much for the kids to learn to become proficient in American history and civics. Personally, and you can call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, doesn't bother me one way or the other, because as a black conservative, I've been called a whole lot worse in my life. So that is the proverbial water off the duck's back. But I digress. I think it's part of a plan. When you graduate this large a percentage of kids that have no working knowledge of America's history, the things we have done to advance this country and this world, when you have no idea and no appreciation for these things, then it is pretty easy to convince you otherwise. Not to mention, when 87%, if the numbers hold true through graduation, when 87% of our children don't know what the rights of Americans are and what the responsibilities of Americans are, then it's real easy for the government to step in and tell them what their rights and responsibilities are. It's real easy for the government to come in, since you don't know American history, to rewrite American history to fit a narrative. Speaking of narratives, this week, the subject was raised with White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre, when she claimed reopening the schools was a, quote, priority for Joe Biden and the American Rescue Plan. I saw someone post online the other night, forget banning stoves that use natural gas. If we just fire Karine Jean-Pierre, then with all the gaslighting that this woman does every single day, there'd be no more energy crisis. She comes out and says the following. Kids have lost so much in the pandemic. This is why, when the president walked in to the White House, he made a priority to open schools. One of the things that was important to do was to make sure that our kids who have lost so much were able to go back in person if they chose to and have the resources they needed to really succeed and move forward in their education. She obviously thinks one of two things. One, Americans have no long-term memory. Or two, even though it's not Tuesday, y'all just stupid. We remember the Democrats and the talking points. They actually ran commercials on television demonizing Donald Trump for wanting to reopen schools in person. Remember that? But now, in an effort to completely rewrite the record, they now come out and say, well, this was a priority for us. Sadly, the damage has already been done. Now, you might be asking yourself, Clarence, I've been seeing this going on. I'm concerned about it, but what can I as an individual do? Well, there's a couple things. One, you can start attending your school board meetings. Two, talk with your children. Well, in this case, your grandchildren. We boomers came up in an era where we prided ourselves on our knowledge of the rights and the responsibilities of Americans. We took pride in that sort of thing. Now, it's something that the left uses to demonize this country. Now listen, y'all, for the record, and I say it every single day at the end of the show, our history is not perfect. But the fact of the matter is, why do you think there are millions of people traversing the globe, taking their lives in their hands to come and be a part of what we have here? Just that simple fact alone should let you know that maybe what them folks on the left are trying to tell our children is not the truth. Understand this, y'all. When we baby boomers leave the scene, and we're doing so daily, do you realize what's going to be left? Generations of children who know virtually nothing about our illustrious history, generations of children that have no idea that there is a responsibility that comes along with being an American and enjoying the rights, the freedoms, and the liberties that this country affords the individual. They have no idea. And they won't if we leave it to the schools to teach them. Talk to your grandkids. Let them know what this country stands for and what their responsibilities are as a beneficiary of these rights and freedoms and liberties. Because as it stands right now, if you don't do it, they'll never know it. Bottom of the hour break. Speaking of our government and our military, you know we've been having problems, right? Getting people, young people, to join the military, and the Navy in particular, you're not going to believe the latest thing our government has come up with to boost recruiting for the U.S. Navy. That's next when we continue the Thursday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You could be driving. Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. You know, I make no bones about the fact that I have a particular affinity for the United States military. I was never blessed to serve, but my late father wore the uniform of the United States Army for 27 years. It was through his military service that I was born in Würzburg, Germany, on his second tour of duty. And because of his military service, I was able to live abroad in Kaiserslautern / K-Town, for those of you that have served in the military, because of his service. You may remember roughly a week ago, I mentioned an incident that I found myself in the middle of, and my late father spoke to me. I mean, literally, it was as clear as a bell in my head. And it got me thinking, boy, what I would give anything to be able to hear his voice one more time. And I started thinking, if I were so fortunate as to be able to have a conversation with my late father, what would we talk about? And more important, what would he think about what is happening in our country today, and particularly in the military? As you are probably well aware, in recent memory, our military, those charged with defending this country and those charged with defending our interests abroad, we've had problems filling the vacancies. And the last time I checked, it pretty much encompasses all branches of the military. We are coming up short in our recruiting goals. And of course, in today's world, with the volatility that exists, you don't know from day to day, week to week, month to month, when we're going to need our military to defend either this country or our interests abroad. So this week, the United States found out that, I guess if you want to look for the silver lining in anything, you can find it. But we found out the United States Navy, in an effort to reach its recruiting goals, has hired as one of their, quote, digital ambassadors, a drag queen. You heard me right. Did the Navy not learn anything from the recent situation with Bud Light, the recent situation with Maybelline, with all these other companies? Well, that's a rhetorical question. The answer is obvious. You don't need to answer the question. The digital influencer / drag queen is an active duty United States Navy Yeoman Second Class Joshua Kelly, whose stage name is Harpy Daniels. So somebody in the Navy, Department of Defense, whomever, sat down and said to themselves or others in the room, you know, we're coming up short on our recruiting goals, and we need some people to reach segments of the population that are not stepping up and answering the call. Do we have any ideas? Yeah, I got one. Okay, what you got, Joe? Well, why don't we use drag queens? And the whole room erupts in applause. Thank you, Marty. China and Russia have got to be laughing themselves silly. Now that I think about it, maybe that's the plan. Have all these guys that enjoy dressing up like women, have them put on their eyeshadow, eyeliner, lipstick, the rest of their makeup, and put them on the front lines, getting ready to charge. And China, Russia, or whomever it is that we're fighting, they will be laughing so hard they can't shoot straight. Maybe that's the plan. Y'all, really? Really? You've heard me say before, and with every passing day, I am more and more and more convinced that it's the God-honest truth. When it comes to our government, particularly the Biden-Harris administration, you cannot be this incompetent by accident. You can't be this stupid by accident. You have to work. You have to work hard to be this freaking stupid and this incompetent. You have to be. You can't do this by accident. Digital ambassadors. You see the old page out of the playbook? You come up with a catchy phrase. You come up with some name that obviously obscures what you're actually trying to do. And most Americans would say to themselves, well, it is the digital age, and there are people that influence other people using digital media, social media, and the like. So yeah, digital ambassadors, that'd be a good idea. In announcing this, the aforementioned drag queen posted the following. I identify as non-binary, and this has been an unbelievable experience since I joined the Navy. From joining in 2016 and being able to share my drag experience on my off time with my fellow sailors has been a blessing. This experience has brought me so much strength, courage, and ambition to continue being an advocate and representation of queer sailors. China, Russia, and everybody else, they are laughing themselves silly at our government. I don't know about you, but if I'm a sailor and our orders are to ship out, and when we arrive at our destination, we are loading the guns, manning the radar towers, prepping the torpedoes, the depth charges, whatever. When I look to my left or my right, and I see a guy who just last night was in a bar in a miniskirt with a beard and lipstick, I'm going to have second thoughts, y'all. I'm going to have some second thoughts. And this from one of the major military institutions whose charge it is to defend this country and our interests abroad. Elections have consequences, don't they? Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back and put that big old pretty bow on this puppy as we wrap up another week of the Clarence Bugg Show. Stay close. Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. That's where Dignity Memorial can help. Our prepaid funeral plans make sure that your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. At Dignity Memorial, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or Gretchen Serio at 225-315-6187 or online at dignitymemorial.com. Dignity Memorial, the peace of mind you and your family deserve.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, we talk about a lot of things on this show that are not comfortable for people to talk about. I get it. Life is full of uncertainty. It seems as though from day to day, week to week, we encounter more and more outrageous things and many things that leave us feeling as though there are just so many things that are completely out of my control. I get it. I understand that. And a lot of times, for many of us, out of sight is out of mind. For many of us as well, if I just don't think about this stuff, maybe it won't happen. Well, the fact of the matter is, what is the old saying? Only two things certain in life: death and taxes. Death is not an easy subject for many people, and I understand. This is in no way, shape, or form meant to denigrate those folks. But the fact of the matter is, unless you are so fortunate as to be living when the rapture happens, you're going to die. And the only thing worse for your family is you dying and you don't have your final arrangements already taken care of. That's where my good friend and the newest sponsor of the Clarence Bugg Show, Dignity Memorial, can help. You need to call my friend Lee Serio. Call him at 225-315-6187 and start the process of getting the peace of mind you and your family deserve. You know, peace of mind is getting harder and harder to come across these days. And the fact of the matter is, after living your life, raising your family, you and they deserve to have the peace of mind that, God forbid, if it happens tomorrow, we're already prepared. If it happens next month, we're already prepared. If it happens next year, it's going to be uncomfortable, but we're prepared. Peace of mind, y'all, is something you cannot put a price tag on. And when it comes to this, Dignity Memorial goes the extra mile. Let me tell you this real quick. I just found out. Let's say you get a prepaid funeral plan from Dignity Memorial for $10,000 and you have minor children. If, God forbid, one of your minor children dies unexpectedly, you have a $10,000 funeral plan for yourself, prepaid, peace of mind. They will give another $10,000 funeral to your child free of charge. That, my friends, is a good corporate neighbor. That's what it's all about when it comes to serving your customers. Don't take my word for it. I never ask you to take my word on anything. Find out for yourself. 225-315-6187. If nothing else, aside from the peace of mind, you get to meet a great guy who will walk you through the process step by step by step. And if you're a veteran, don't know, I've been through this with my late father's passing. It's not all that easy to navigate the process with the VA benefits. Lee Serio is an expert at it. Get everything you deserve, and particularly get the peace of mind. Call Lee and do your buddy Clarence a favor, will you? Let him know that you heard about him right here on the Clarence Bugg Show. Finally, speaking of our government, a disturbing report this week from the watchdog group Open the Books. They scour the American government's spending of our money and what they're doing with your money and my money. They found out recently that federal agencies, 76 of them, that have nothing to do with defending this country or our interest abroad, nothing to do with the military, nothing to do with police departments. They have spent, since 2006, nearly $4 billion on guns and ammunition. You heard me right. Since 2006, the Department of Defense has spent $3.87 billion on guns, ammunition, and military-style equipment. When you look at the IRS, the EPA, the FDA, NASA, all of these agencies that have nothing to do with law enforcement at all, they are spending money like it is going out of style, buying weapons, and ironically, this is how you know the Dems are in charge. all of the rifles that they are trying to deny you the right to own, they're stockpiling them. You heard me right. AR-15s for the freaking IRS. AR-15s, machine guns, and ammunition out the wazoo. At some point, you have to ask yourself, what are they planning to do with all these weapons and ammunition? That's a great question. That's a great question. Hopefully, somebody in the near future will answer it. You do realize that the IRS, since 2020, has had their annual budget double. I'll let that sink in. The entire federal government's budget since 2020 has increased by 60%. Mr. Bush, is that why conservatives say they are the party of less spending? Ding, ding, ding. We got a winner. Elections have consequences. You see what you voted for? What's the other old adage? You get the government that you vote for. The IRS, NASA, Department of Health and Human Resources, all these folks are stockpiling automatic weapons and ammunition. What, my friends, could possibly go wrong? Wink, wink. We can keep an eye on this and dig as deep as possible. And we'll pass that information along to you and yours as soon as we get it. My time's up, and I got to go. But you already know the drill. This day, maybe more so than any other day in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we are not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Best news you're going to get all day. There ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you soon. God bless.